So our students, we're going to start. So I'm just glad to see new students and congratulations with the new semester who is continuing their study. I can see a lot of new students. That's very great. So let me start from introducing myself. So I'm a lecturer which working in various companies, worldwide science. So practicing my lecturing for MBA students on the finance subjects as well on the human resource management. Some of you already have met me on the HRM subject. What about my background? Actually, I am from Kazakhstan, but currently living in Montenegro. This is in Europe, a small country. I have an MBA degree as well, which I graduated in Staffordshire University. I had a campus in Malaysia. So the last 3 years living in Montenegro. Before that, last 5 years I have lived in Malaysia. So always around the world. What about my experience? I have experience at business as a managing director. Currently just lecturing only. So I try to give you my best knowledge and my best skills and to teach you about the financial management, how we can manage our finance actually as investors. So most of you, I think you don't have any finance background. It would be a little tough for you to study because actually the finance. When we talk about the finance, when we talk about the finance class, actually this is we will do a lot of practical exercise, a lot of practice, which is based on the exercises. So theory, of course, theory would be parallel with the practice. And I'd like to say that compared to other subjects, the finance is a bit difficult. Because of why? Because we are going to talk about the accounting, about the figures, about the numbers. We are going to calculate them, to analyze. So and to make it online, it would be more difficulty than if you have some offline classes at the university, as example. Okay, so but the most important thing is your participation in the class, because if you do participate in each class and you ask me the question that you are thinking your difficulties have with some questions. So and when you have right answers and you do understand everything that we are going to study, that would help you to have your exam easier. Okay. So I just want to talk about the exam. So the finance class. So we have 1 semester. So we are going to study during the it's the 2.5 months. Would be around 10 classes, maybe more than it. It depends. Would depend on how we are actually would be. How we would be able to understand the finance itself. So maybe it will be more than 10 classes, 12 classes. Before, always I have a class that the students ask me to have some additional classes. So I have given them some additional classes based on the practice. And then exam would be at the end of semester. And exam which would be based on the exercises, the accounting and the finance exercises. Most of them are practical exercises. And our classes would be in combination with the theory and the practical exercises. we try to combine them as we can. So let me introduce you the study structure, as you can see in your screens. So we have around, just a moment, the 10 sessions, right? So our all topics, which is based on the finance, would be divided on the 10 sessions. We try to have as much as we can in each session. So, and the finance class, which is for non-financial users, would be given based on the e-books that I have sent you. I hope you already got your emails from me, where I send you the e-books, 3 kinds of e-books based on the finance. So most of them are useful, and it depends on you what books do you like more, because they are written literally different ones. And but try to combine when you review those books, because some of them have some kind of information in detail, and another one have another kind of information details. So the best way is the combination with my slides that I will provide you after each class or before each classes. So just yesterday on night time, I sent you the PowerPoint slides based on the first session. So let's see, the financial management class would be separately on the 2 parts. The first one, as you can see, I would like to mark you, just a moment. The first one, which would be based on the finance itself, on the financial management, right? And another one part would be as additional topics for you based on accounting skills. This is for those who don't have any accounting knowledges, or for those also who wants to remind you. Okay. So here is the first session. Is all about the introduction. So we are going to introduce on the accounting and the finance, which is this chapter first would be on the finance part, and some additional topics which is would be supported. The introduction is accounting equation chapter, and the accounting concept and conventions, which is on the accounting skills. Here is giving you some structure of those topics, and around the number of slides, how many slides we have, just for you. It's also the little help for me to control our class time. So next class, if we do so for the first session, we have 3 topics. You see, we have 3 topics. One is under finance, and 2 another under accounting skills. If we do finish it, the next session would be based on the topic, accounting topic, the double entry and trial balance. We have some exercises, practical exercises. So the third session would be based on the finance part, which is about the measuring and reporting financial position. And the supported topics from the accounting skills is about the preparation, the final accounts, and the balance sheet. So we will have a practical exercise based on income statement and the balance sheet. Next one, the session number 4 is given you as a practical exercise based on the trial balance and the balance sheet. I made it the session number 4 the whole as a practical because the students asked me to do so. But we will see how our actual study will go during our semester. Okay. Next one, the session 5 would be about the measuring and report the financial performance and the finance part, and we will study about the depreciation methods, which is on the accounting skills. So let's see next two pages, next one page. So here is this session number 6, which is the class number 6 will be under chapter 4, accounting for limited companies, and some practical exercise based on the cash flow statement. And then we have session number 7, sorry, about the ratio and interpretation of accounts. 8 is the capital expenditure decisions topic, which would be separate by the practical exercises. So, and 9 is about the performance evaluation, behavioral consolidation, management, accounting, decision making, which is we have some practical exercise too. So, if you can see the last, just want to tell you about the last is the class number 10 is about decision making and condition for risk and certain. So I just want to say, you see, in each class we have some theory and the practical exercises too. And the first 2-3 sessions would be supported by the accounting skills. Because without the knowledge of accounting, we can't do any like decision under finance. So any questions so far about our structure, about the class structure? So it would be a little difficult seeing, as you can see. A lot of study we have in the future. So I have some questions, just let me see first. Okay, so some of you say to me that we have a lot of slide sessions and so on. So actually, you see, I can't give you just the information about the finance. I can just teach you about the financial management. But if you do have accounting skills, but truly I face a lot of problems with students who doesn't have any accounting skills or knowledge, okay? And why I combine it to support the accounting skills to help you to understand more easily and deeply about what is actually financial management. I know it looks like a little difficult, but we just, like for example, you create the folders, like the folder, which is you can call the session number 1, and just copy there the slides, which is we are going to start on the first session. So it would be not so difficult. So of course, about the assignments, some of you asked me about would we have any assignments. In each class, you will have homework assignments based on the practical exercises, and you have actually to send me your answers before the next session would be started. But of course, who is not going to send me, it's okay. But when I do evaluation based on the exam, the student who's, I think they need to make their marks more higher, for example, I think so. If I will see their feedbacks, I will see that if they do any assignments and homework assignments, they do like sorry. If they do have any homework assignments, I will hire their marks on the exam. So because your subject would be evaluated as is based on exam, but additionally, I will see who is participating in the classes. Did you have any questions before it earlier in the earlier sessions? Did you send me any your answers based on the assignments and so on? Okay, all those things would be considered in evaluation. So let me see. Yeah, I can see that you say that looks like difficult one. Just a moment. Want to see your messages. Okay. Yes, 2 hours actually is not enough to give you everything that we have, but we will try. We have to try. I have earliest class. They have done the exam very good. I have to say that the most of them they pass the exam. If they pass the exam, that means they do understand the study at overall about the finance. You see, this is the arguments that they really do understand the finance and they like it. Of course, it would be difficult for you. Of course, you can't compare to the bachelor study, the MBA ones with the bachelor one. Because most of time you should have your own practice. You should review the books your own at your home when you have free time at the job or on other days. Okay, so let's start the class first one. So the first chapter is under finance. We are going to introduce to accounting and finance. So if no any question, we are going to start the class already. Okay, I think you're fine with the structure one. Yeah, it looks more difficult than to compare the other subjects, but it's better for you. Better for you because you will get much more knowledge. You'll obtain the financial accounting skills that would help you in your career perspective in your life actually. So first one. So we start from the first chapter on the finance, then we continue with the accounting skills, okay? So topic and structure of the lesson for today. So we're going to identify the nature and the role of accounting and the finance. About the we are going to identify the user needs. What is plan and control, the business objectives, and the major financial statements, as well as the concept of the true and fair view. All these structured based on theory, so it will be easier for you to understand. Then we continue with the practical. So the learning outcome given you that after the session you would be able to understand and describe the function of accounting and the nature of purpose of the information provides, the list the accounting concepts and principles, which is under accounting skills. Describe the role of planning control in accounting. Recognize they're able to indicate the effects of transactions and the accounting institution. And understand the balance sheet. You should all mute your microphone because if you have any question, that raise your hand. So here is given to you the terms you must be able to use after the session, that you do understand what is accounting, what kind of accounting concept we have, what is the account equation, balance sheet, income statement, assets, liability, reserve, revenue, and equity. So this is the terms. If you are not familiar with those terms, it's okay, don't worry, because we are going to study in details each of them. If you are already familiar, that is very good for you too, because you do understand. You will be easily to understand the later things. Sorry, okay. Just people ask me to stop. Okay, I can see that you have some noises in your microphone. Sorry. Please mute your microphone. I'm asking all the students because it would be easier to raise the students to clearly hear the session itself. So is it okay? So fine, right. So the terms you have seen. Okay, next one. What the main teaching points? This is the teaching points which is based on the structure of this topic. About the nature of life accounting, finance accounting, user needs, planning control, business objects, and income statement balance sheet. Okay, this is repeated by the structure. So, what is actually accounting? Accounting is a service activity, right? So the main is function to provide the quantitative information about the economic entities. That means to provide the quantitative, which is about the figures, how much money company owes, or how much money company owes, and to make some qualitative analysis about the organization. So all the information, the accounting is in the financial nature, which means we measure in the money. Okay, it would be our currency. It depends on in which country you live in that currency. So and the all the accounting information is useful in the making the decisions in the company, like investment decisions. Yes, I know some of you ask me that I am too fast. Okay, I try to be slowly little. So, because now I'm reading the slides itself and explain each statement if it seems tough, difficult, okay? So you can do same things. You do read and listen me at the same time. So it would be easily for you to understand the meanings of the slides. For example, if the entity, which means entity, the company, for example, for which the information is provided is the business, for example, the information is used by the management. So the first one, the management body using the accounting information to answer the following questions. The first one, what are the resources of the business? Which means what are the assets of the business? What business have actually? What debt does it owe? What kind of, for example, loans or credits company have in front of the banks or suppliers? Does it have earnings? Does it have any profit? Okay, so the accounting information give us the answers about those questions that we see in the screen. Does the company have any profits from the businesses? Are the expenses too large in relation to sales? So we are analyze our expenses. So we should look our costing policy in the organizations. Is our expense too large? Compare our sales, compare our profits. We have to identify, because to get a profit, the sales must be much greater than the expenses, right? This is just logically. And are amounts owed by the customers being collected rapidly? That means when we sell any product, that could be the goods or services, how fast, how quickly customers pay us money for those products. Cash would be, or by the bank transfers. If the cash is rapidly, quickly, right, is the best way. But if we talk about a big quantity of the products, the most of customers, it would be not just the people only on the it's also like companies, say suppliers, how they do pay. Mostly they pay by the bank transfers. And the question, how fast we get those money through the transfers. This is very important. So here is giving you 5 kinds of questions. Where is the accounting and the finance actually would give us the answer. Next one. So right now we are talking about the accounting user needs. User needs, which means who is actually using the accounting information. First, we talk about that the management body, right? The management itself. Next one is the people, like, for example, the grantors from the banks or wholesale houses or manufacturers. So they use also the accounting information to answer the following questions here is given you. Are the customers using the prospects good? What is its debt, the paying ability? Has it paid its debt promptly in the past? And should it be granted additional credit? The first question, are the customers using prospects good? That means we're talking about the price on the product. Does its price is right for this product? Do the customers can pay such amount for the special product if we talk about the goods or services? Next one, what is its debt paying ability? How much actually customers can pay for any product? You see, this is a very main question of the business that the accountants, they must give answer. The customer's ability to pay for any products. So the next one is has it paid its debts promptly in the past? Okay, if we already sell some product and we do some we collect some statistics, data, or some information about how customers, how fast and how quickly customers paid for the product. And should it be granted additional credit? That means for example, it's all about the company. When they do business, they have analyzed their business and their assets and identify the business needs any additional money. If they do so, the additional money, how we can get the additional money to continue our business, okay, or to develop our business. Should we invite new investors or get some credit from the banks? Okay, you see, this is the main business question which we can get the answer from our the accounting information. So, okay, some of you asked me about the paying ability. What is its debt paying ability? That means what is the customer's ability? How much the customer able to pay for product? For example, we sell a cup. The cup for coffee, for example, is around $1. So if the customers, we are actually people can pay $1 for this cup. Okay, yes, we can do so because it's not so expensive. We think that our budget can, our budget is able to buy such as product for such as price. But it should be the price is different. For example, expensive more than 10 times. Like the cup, the price for cup would be $10. So can we pay $10 for cup? It's of course also depends on the family's budget, right? The people's level. They all we are actually different levels living. Who is some of the rich, some of not, but we are taking some average one. So when we identify the price for cup, we are taking the information from average families. how much those average families can pay for their car. Is it $10 too expensive? Or $1 is too, sorry. Sorry, just a moment. Cheap, sorry. Sometimes I can't forget the simple words, sorry. But when you know two more than languages in your mind, all the different languages confused. The pain ability of identifying the price for the product, how much the customer can pay for that kind of product, is, okay? I think that you do understand. Okay, move to the next one. So another users of accounting information is the governmental units. They use the accounting information in regulating the business and collecting the taxes. You know that for example, the banks the organization like banks, the financial organization like banks, or the large multinational companies, they publish their financial statements like income statement or like balance sheet in the like special gazettes or journals, right? So, or in their own website. You can see some annual report of the company in their own website. So this information is public. Everyone can see, right? And as well, the governmental use those information to identify how much actually the companies earns profits annually. They have some averages, and also it depends on what kind of companies are, in which field they are, what size of the companies, the little, medium, or large companies, and they do identify the earnings, the average earnings of those companies, and from this information they can make some analysis and make a rate taxes for the special companies, right? So the governmental, the unit, they use the accounting information to create rate taxes, to analyze the earnings and to put right taxes for the businesses. Another one is the labor unions. They also use the accounting information to identify under which conditions, working conditions people should work, and what kind of salary they should get in a specific profession, or what kind of minimum wage should be. They also see all those public information, which is income statements or balance sheet, and from those information, which is just only numbers and figures, they make the quality analysis and identify, for example, the minimum wage for the special country. For example, if you do live and work in Afghanistan, your labor unions use information from your country's statistics data. So investors also, they use the accounting data to make the investment decisions. So the investors, they use the primary the statements like income statements, we call it profit and loss, or they use the balance sheet or cash flow statements to make any decisions. What is investment decisions? This is the investors think and do identify what they should do with the business. For example, if you are investor or shareholder of the company, you do decisions like to develop your business, for example, or maybe to create a new product or services, or to move your business in another country, to expand your business actually. So this is all investors, they make those decisions, and we should use the accounting information. So you see, the accounting information, like the financial statement, they're very important in all fields that we can see. So, and actually the finance, our finance class, here is, we are going to study and learn how we can do investment decision, the correct investment decision, in which way we can do it, what kind of methods we can use to make investment decisions. Okay, and here is, in the finance class, you are students, you are looking as investors. For example, investor on your business. This will help you in the future. For example, if you would like to have your own businesses, so you will get all these knowledges and skills and can do your own decisions under your businesses. And you will use special methods and strategy that we are going to study. Okay? This is why I'm talking about the finance is very important for the MBA students. So let me see, you have some kind of questions. Sorry. For example, some of you ask me that some information is not public, for example. But the government, they have a right to get the information from all the companies, because of you know that about the taxation. When we pay our taxes, we give our reports, annual reports, how much we earn, how much profit we had or loss we had in the year, right? And this is already information the government or units use it to make to regulate the business actually. But if we talk about the other people, just not only about the government, like if you just want to use some information, of course, some companies won't show you the financial statements. It depends on the company itself. As I told you, the large international multinational companies, they provide such information in their own websites. You can see at the annual reports. There you can find the income statements. In the income statement, you can see how much profit the company earned in this year, for example. Or balance sheet, you can see what company OV means, what kind of capital company have, what kind of liabilities company have in front of the banks or suppliers. You see? So at this moment, I want to see you. Can you please answer my question? Okay. What's the question you asked me at that moment? So the question, what the companies hide the right information? What the companies, this is, I can't say what kind of company they hide the information. Depends on the company. But at the end of this class, we are going to study about true and fair view. That the true and fair view says that all companies, all organizations, never mind what the type they are, they must provide their true financial information in the statements, in the financial statements. You know that we have some auditing. Some auditing is compulsory, some is not. But through the auditing, we can identify the company hide any information from the public, from the government, right? For example, some additional profits to not pay for the taxes, right? Okay, so let's move. So all this, the question we have seen the earliest, And we can find the answers in the accounting reports or annual reports, we call it. And if you would like, for example, you are interested in the report, company reports. If you would like to use this information for yourself, like as investor or as I don't know, as a new partner, so the main things you should do understand how the information actually were gathered, how this information being collected, and what the figures, the numbers in the income statement shows, what they explains. As well, you must appreciate and understand the accounting terms and concepts. So, and we are going to study about the terms and concepts in our finance classes, okay? So, for you, if you have no any accounting or finance background, so to use the company's reports, first we should understand about the accounting skills. So, what we are going to do. So we have seen the main questions that we can get from the answer, and the answer for those we can get from accounting, right? We study about the users, you know, who is the users, the accounting users, who is using the accounting information, you know already. It's the banks, as I told you, the investors, management, the government, and so on. Now we are going to see the work of an accountant. What actually accountant do in his or her jobs. In the public, if they can't work in the public, they do auditing, right? We have a lot of auditing companies. Or let's say about the big four auditing companies. There are actually most of staff are accountants. Next one, the management advisory services, some consulting companies. It's very important for example, if you like to work in auditing or consulting companies, you must know accounting itself. Tax services also. You see, all these bodies are very closely to the accounting. In the private, for example, if you are like accountant, when you do work in the private company, you do your general accounting of the company, some cost accounting, the budgeting, some internal auditing. Okay, I think this is information for you to understand what actually accountants do, what their main functions. So let's now see what is actually financial statement. Before I talk a lot about financial statements, like income statement, like balance sheet. So this is the main report that, like accounting, like auditors, banks, like the government, they use these statements to have the answers for their questions. Okay, to get some quality information. So the accounting statements, so financial statement is the accounting statements. It's the end of the product of accounting process. So the first type of financial statement is a income statement. Here is given to you, income statement, or sometimes we call it profit and loss account. Sorry, profit and loss account. So what the income statement shows? The income statement shows the company's profitability. How far the company is profitable, okay? Next one. We have a balance sheet financial statement. The balance sheet, it shows the company's financial position. So let me explain you the balance sheet. In the balance sheet, if you have seen it, the report of the balance sheet, it have two sides, left and right side. On the right side, we have a capital and liability. The capital means we show how much capital company have, how much investor invest to the company, the shareholders invest to the company. And liabilities shows how much the company owe from the banks or suppliers or partners. They are liabilities, which means in the future they should pay for the banks for some credits and so on. And from left side we have assets. This is assets. Is equal to capital and liability. Assets means they shows, for example, how much cash money company have, what kind of properties company have, some buildings, or maybe what kind of equipment the company have, some special equipment, business equipment, or the automobile cars, the transportation, and so on. And the balance sheet, why it showed the financial position? Here is given to you that the picture of financial position, because through balance sheet we can see the company, how much company have its own money, which is capital, how much company must pay in the future, its liabilities, and where did the company invest those money. This together with its capital, liability, invest, which means in the assets, its resources, shows that what company owes, like what kind of properties, as I told you, how much cash in, or how much money in the banks, and so on. And the formula you should remember always, that the assets is equal to capital and liability. In regard of this financial statement, about the account equation, we have the separated topic from accounting skills. You see, now we are moving to the next presentation, which is would be accounting equation. Here we have some practical exercise, okay? Before it, I wanna see your questions. Just a moment. I can see a lot of kind of questions you ask me, you message me, but I'm trying to give you answers. Okay, some of you have some just recommendations and so on. Okay, some of you asked me to explain the previous slide. Which is previous one? Sorry, I already forgot. You just give me the number of slides. Okay, so a lot of things, statements here I can see. Okay, here is the question. What's the difference between the capital and equity? It's no difference. The capital and equity same things. That the shareholders' equity, that means how much money the investors put in the company. This means the capital itself. Capital, which means the shareholders' money, actually, the shareholder investments, the same things. Okay, next one. Okay, here is some. I have some questions, but I don't understand. What did you mean under this question? What are the definition of assets and liabilities as per international standard? Just want to tell you one thing, that right now we are studying finance, and this finance under international e-books. Okay, so all the information based on the British study. So I'm not studying you based on the Afghanistan accounting and so on, because I don't know your let's say your rules, how you do accounting in your country. So we do actually based on the international accounting, all the study. and all the books provided based on the British study. And these slides also prepared based on the British books. Okay? Okay, slide number 10. Just a moment, I want to see, we have, you're asking me the slide number 10. Okay. So, here is this statement. Information for use in answering the question like the ones listed earlier is conveyed in accounting reports. That you remember we have seen different questions. Where is management body or the investor wants to know, and all the answers we can get from accounting reports. What is accounting reports? Accounting reports is financial statements, which is the income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statements. And if you would like to read those reports, read means review, and do understand what it shows, what kind of figures, because all reports just in figures, right? Just figures, numbers, figures, money, how much they owe you, how much they demand. And do understand actually the business in the whole. Firstly, you have to understand how this information being collected. And how we put those figures in the balance sheet. Why we do put those figures? For example, I want to explain you the simple things. You can have a balance sheet. In the balance sheet, under assets, we have some wages. The statement of the wages, which means salary. So you have to understand how the figures and the salaries or wages being collected, because it's the balance sheet shows for example, the annually report is by the year, by the whole year. That means that the amount of the salaries is, for example, is 200,000. It's collected that how much company pays salary to each staff, how much they pay, and so you do collect all this information. How much we pay salary for all the staff we have in the company, and how much we pay in a yearly by 12 months. So, and when you collect these figures by each staff and by each month and collect annually, you will get that it's the same would be numbers that in the balance sheet and the wages. So this is, you should understand how this information being obtained, how it being collected, and why it put together. All the staff salary and wages put together under one statement, like a wages, because it's the company's cost, right? When we pay the staff salary, so we should put it under one statement. So I hope you do understand that one. Okay, I hope you do understand this statement. And also you must appreciate, which means you must understand the accounting terms and the concepts. The terms, the accounting words, which means, for example, income statement. What is the income statement? Or there's some concepts we are going to study later. You should understand the accounting concepts too. So this is the terms you should understand before doing any to reviewing any reports and so on. So any questions so far? Because we are going to move to another topic, which is under accounting skills. So you see the chapter first one is based on the finance part. We haven't finished yet because we just stop it under accounting equation. And to understand the accounting equation in details, we are going to move to another topic. Here is the second one. Just one. Here is. Okay, so we're going to have some little practice. I hope you are all here and do listen carefully. So let's move. So the topic of this slide presentation would be, we're going to introduce to accounting equation and analyze business transaction based on the accounting equation. That means we have some practical exercise. So at the end of this topic, you should be able to analyze the transactions using the accounting equation. If you have mastered this topic, you should know what is assets, liabilities, and capital. Some of you asked me what's the difference between capital and equity. You see, this is the same thing. Capital, we call it sometimes capital or sometimes owner's equity. So if you do see in some reports just only words equity is same as a capital, okay? You don't confuse. This is the same things. Next one. So accounting equation is the base of accounting that will always be used in each time we record a transaction. Which means, what that means, we record the transaction. We record transaction, which means when in the business, in the company, we do any action, which means buy property or sell our products and other things, okay? It consists the components, the main. So, our balance sheet or our accounting equation have three kind of elements. The main elements. First is the assets, the resource that can bring economic benefits owned by the entity. For example, on the assets we have cash, the company's cash, which means the company's cash. Some buildings, what kind do we have any property on the company name? Or fitting some equipment like tables, the furniture, for example, and so on. So you do understand what is assets, right? Assets is what company owned. That means cash, or it will be cash, money cash in like a safe, or it could be some money in the banks. So also could be this situation. Another one, company have liabilities, rights or claims made by the loan providers. That means we have a liability. That means we have some loans or credits, and we have some the entities like banks or our partners. They have claims for us to get their money back. So we take some. This is main things that as we are normal people, we also take some credit or loans from the banks to buy, for example, a house, to buy a car, or to buy a computer, right? This is, and when we, for example, buy a car under credit, that means we have a liability in front of the bank. This is, okay? You do understand the simple example, yes? So, which means you have liabilities in front of the bank. That means you have to return back money to the bank, which you already taken from the bank. Another one is capital, the rights or claims made by the owner itself. That means when the investors invest money to the company for the business, startup, or when it's continuing business, they put some money to the business to expand the business, to develop its products, and so on. And it calls a capital when I give some portion of money to the business and I automatically become the investor. I automatically become the shareholder that I have, for example, the shares of this company. I have a right, my own rights, my roles in this business. Okay, this means capital. The fittings means like equipment, like for example, it would be some furniture in the offices. This is the fittings, or equipment like which belongs to the business, some special machinery or something else, like computers, for example, also fittings, equipment of the business. So let's see next one. So here is given to you transaction analysis. So you remember the main formula that assets equal to liability plus capital or equity, right? So now we are going to have some practical exercise. So you do listen carefully, and here is giving you example one, and we have already the answer for this exercise. Sorry, before start our exercise, I have some questions. What's the difference between assets and capital? Okay, let's go back. I want to explain it. So capital, this is money which is, for example, you are as investor, give it to the business, put it in the businesses, in your company. This is your own money, your capital. Like your salary, you have it, you put in the business to expand your business. But assets, assets means when those money you are going to use to buy a property or some equipment for the business, to run your business actually, to produce some goods or services, okay, to make a business itself. This is the capital you have, the capital life. So you have some money from capital money, some money liability, which means the money from your banks. This is all money you collect in one hand, and then you use it for your business, right? You collect special money and use then to buy, for example, to rent. For example, not to buy, maybe not to buy, just rent an office, to buy a furniture for the office. If you have some services, you want to, for example, you would like to consult, you pay your the salary for your staff. This is assets called your resources. So, okay, this is like capital and assets. Those money are not coming from different way. The assets coming from capital and liability. Okay. So, okay. Okay, so I hope you do understand the difference in between the capital and assets. If it's a little tough for you to understand in English or language, you can see in your own language and can see some easy examples. So it would be easily for you to understand. I can give you some very simple examples. If you'd like to, we can. If no, we can continue. Okay, so let's continue. I hope you do understand, right? So, and because why? It's very important you ask me those questions, because you should understand. Because right now we are going to do some practical exercise. It would be based on the assets, liability, and capital. So on this example, you can see in your own eyes how we are going to put it on the formula. So let's see transactions. The first one, the transaction number one, the reinvested cash of 30 US thousands into Rin Kyber series. First one, Rin is a name of investor. The man who have own company, which is called Rin Kyber series. So that means his business about the service, not a good. He doesn't produce a good. He produces the service for the people, for the customer. Okay. So here is he invested the cash money, 30,000 into company. So this is a 30,000. What is? It's a capital, right? because he invested to the company. Next, the transaction number 2. He purchased a piece of land valued at 20,000. He purchased a property, right? A land for 20,000. From this 30,000, which is he invested to the company. And the business paid cash 5,000, and the balance financed by the bank loan. Okay, what that means? Just a moment. Sorry. So that means, okay, here it says to you that he bought the land which is cost him for 20,000, but the 5,000 he paid by the cash, and another money he took from bank. So let's calculate how much he took from that bank. That means 20,000 minus 5,000, and the balance is 15,000. So the RIN took a loan from the bank at the 15,000, right? Now he has a liability in front of the bank. You see, you do already understand, as I can see in your messages. Next one, the transaction number 3. He purchased the office supplies, which is valued at 2,700 on credit. Sorry. He purchased office supplies, that office equipment. Maybe he has bought the table, chair, and computer for 2,700, but he bought it on the credit. You see, that means he bought it from the shop, but he didn't pay it. That he says to the shop, "We'll pay you later." You see, when you see that when people buy on credit from the shop, that means they haven't paid the cash money. They're going to pay it later. Okay, that means he has another liability in front of the shop for at the 2,700, right? The logically, right? Next one, transaction number 4. He received revenue from the consultancy service provided to customer. The customer paid 15,000 in cash. That means he has a business, right? He do some services, consultancy services, and he already have got some profits. The revenue, which is 15,000 in cash. The customer pay him for his service 15,000 in cash. That means, what means that? That means his capital being increased by 15,000, right? Okay. So as you can see, we have looked at the transactions. Now we are going to see how we put those transactions in the accounting equation in the report. Okay. Let's see the next slide. Okay, here is how we do as we accountant, and you are as a financial, how you do put the figures in your reports. The first transaction, you remember? The RIN, he invested 30,000 in the company. Okay, in the balance sheet it will be like this. The owner's equity is 30,000. That means the RIN invested 30,000 in cash to the company. Plus liability, not yet, because this is the first transaction. And equal to, we have assets. We have assets, which is the cash 30,000. This is same money. Here is, you see, the same money. Same money as we have owner's equity 30,000, and now it's already automatically as in cash of the business by the 30,000 too. Okay, so any question so far about the first transaction? How we got the owner's equity and the cash at 30,000? Clear, yes? Okay, next one. The next transaction number 2. You remember he bought the land at 20,000, but the 5,000 he paid the cash, right? And the 15,000 he took credit from the bank, right? Here is, so capital remains same, 30,000, and now our liabilities increased by 15,000 because this is a bank loan, right? Okay, next one. At the next side, we have what? We have a 30,000 cash, right? But we paid for land 5,000 in cash. In the transaction 2 says that Reen paid 5,000 in cash for the land. So minus 5,000. Now we have a cash balance by the 25,000, right? And plus we have got the property, which is the land, by 20,000. And now, as you can see, our assets, which is 25,000 cash plus land 20,000, is total is 45,000, right? And which is equal to the owner's equity that which is he invested at the first time 30,000 plus 15,000, which is bank loan. He has taken the loan from the bank to buy the land, right? And the total one is 45,000. So as you can see, here is equation that the assets equal to liability plus owner's equity. 45,000 equal to 45,000, right? That means here is the two sides, the right side. Here is right side. We know our liabilities, how much. We know our owner's equity, right? And the assets shows what we do actually with those money. What we do, we buy the land by 20,000, which is increased, which is we paid the 5,000 in the cash, right? So just a moment, I want to see your message. So, okay, is it clear the transaction number 2? So we have equation 45,000 and 45,000, right? Move to the next one. Sorry. So here is, now we are going to see the transaction number 3. You remember in the transaction number 3, he bought some equipment for office equipment for 2,700, right? But on the credit, he didn't pay the money for the chair or table, for example. Here is, the cash remained at the 25,000 because, why remains? Because he didn't pay yet, right? The land remains at 20,000. That he already bought the land and that in the business. And supplies, here is 2,700 supplies. That means the cost, we show that the cost of the company. You see, when we buy something, if we didn't pay the cash money, anyway, we have to show this transaction in our reports, in our balance sheet, in our assets. Even we didn't pay the cash money, we have to show our costs that about the 2,700. And from the right side, here is the owner's equity remains at the 30,000, right? 15,000 is the loan, right? And 2,700, this is the money which we have to pay for our shop, for the fittings. This is AP, means accounting payables, which means the money which we have to pay in the future, but we didn't pay. Same as the loans. For example, we have taken the loan from the banks, 15,000, but we didn't pay, right? We haven't returned to the bank. And 2,700, when we buy the equipment on the credit, that means also we haven't paid the money yet. That means our liability in front of the shop increased, and we should put it on the liability statement, which is 2,700. So, any question about the transaction number 3? If you can see, also we have an equation between assets and liability and owner's equity. So here is the 15,000. This is the bank loan. You remember when Rinde bought the land, the 5,000 cash he paid from his own money, which is he invested in the company, and another balance, which is 15,000, he took from the bank as a loan. And this is a liabilities, 15,000. That means we should give back bank the 15,000. And 2,700, this is also our liabilities that we have to pay back this money to the shop for our furniture, for example. The Rim bought the furniture. Okay, so now you can see that we have equation in the transaction 3 as well, right? So let's move to the next one, next transaction number 4. Okay, here is, let's start from the right side. It will be more easy for you to understand. So we have our on the liability, we still have our 15,000 liabilities which we should pay to the bank in the future, right? Then we should pay our 2,700 to the shop for equipment, right? Plus we have additional, we have our own capital, which is 30,000. And in the transaction number 4, say that we received a revenue, a profit from the customer. Yes, for the services we give. So we received the 15,000 of the service revenue. The 15,000 we put on the owner's equity because this is the business profit, right? And that means that the RIN's capital, the company's capital has increased by 15,000 and become 45,000. Now we have a more capital, and at the 45,000, you see. So always your revenue, your service revenue, the income you received, you should put on the capital, on the owner's equity, because this is money which you can use for your business, right? To develop your business, to expand your business, and so on. I tell sometimes I call the revenue, sometimes I call it income or sales. The money which we have got from the customers. Or sometimes maybe I call it profits, but profits we call it when profits is already net income, which is when we check the revenue, we deduct all the expenses, then we can get our profits. The clear money which we can use for our business. So here is, so we have a capital at the 45,000. We have a liabilities for 15,000 and 207,000, right? So the right side is understandable, right? Here is the total amount is 62,700, right? Next one, the left side. Here is the supplies remain same, 2,700, because we bought the equipment. We show our costs, expenses. Another one, we have our land for 20,000, and we have our cash by 25,000, and also we received the revenue from the customer in the cash. Remember, it says that in the cash by the 15,000. So in total, our cash has increased by 15,000 and become 40,000. So if you can calculate your cash 40,000, land and supplies, you will get the same amount as the liability and equity It's a 62,700. Okay, so the right side, liability and equity, shows us how much money we have, where did we get those money from, loans of our own capital, or we received some income. And the left side, the assets, shows us where we do have invest those money. We have bought the land, we have bought the furniture, which is supplies, for 2007, and we have some cash money for 40,000. And we have got the equation between our assets, liability, and equity, right? So, just a moment, I wanna read your messages if I have some questions. Yes, revenue is the gross profit, because when the profit, when we say profit or loss, the profit, do you know the formula for profit? It's a revenue minus all company's expenses. That means at the end of year, you will calculate your whole income from the business, which is revenue, and deduct it, your whole costing and expenses you have made for the business. And then you will get your profits, which is net profits, which is the money which the investor can collect those money, or can reinvest in the business, or pay the dividends for the shareholders. They do those money what they would like to, okay? Or they can get a loss. Also, the loss could be, if it's loss, you you can't get any money from your business. So you should think about where you can get some additional money for your business, right? When you have a loss, the minus in your balance sheet, for example, income statement, sorry. So, okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Some of you said why I put the service revenue under equity, because this is money. 15,000 is income, right? The company's income, and it will be automatically comes by under capital. That means all the business's incomes, the revenues, it's same as the business capital, what the company actually it have in nature, how much the company have in nature, how much money the company have in nature. And it would be under capital, because with this money, which is 15,000 revenue, we can do what we would like to. Because we can buy a new kind of land or property or something else, okay? So, okay, so we have got already the accounting equation in this balance. So in the future, you should remember that you will have similar to these practical exercises. I will give you some transactions, like in the sentence will be given, and you have to analyze your own how you can put these transactions in this form, in the balance sheet. You see, in the balance sheet, how we can do it, and it should be, you should get the equation between assets and liabilities plus capital or equity. And you remember I told you the people who has some accounting knowledge, if you don't have any like these transactions, you haven't seen ever, you just can see this kind of report, like this balance sheet. If you have any accounting knowledges, you already can give the business history. You already know what that owner's equity capital means. That means the owner put invest the money in the company. You already know. You can like describe this mm, report in the simple words, as in given in the transaction. Okay. You see, sometimes we will have exercise. You have to make your balance from the transaction, just from the statement. And sometimes I just give you like this kind of balance sheet, and you should explain me in your own words what these numbers means actually, what these figures means. For example, 15,000, what did that mean? So you can assume that this is the company's liability. That means company has taken the loan from the bank. You see? Okay. Next move. So here is quick review question for you. Will be as your homework and the accounting skills. So slide number 9. Just mark it in yourself that this is your homework. So here is just want to explain you. So determine the appropriate amount in the spaces marked. So you know that the assets equal to liability and plus owner's equity. So you should put the correct amount in the spaces where is given question. It's very easy, right? You can do right now if you like so. Just get your calculators or calculate in your minds. Next one. Yes, you see, we are going to start our exercises from the easiest, but at the end of the semester, you have more difficulty exercises, and you at that time you will be already able to solve it because we have the semester is around 3 months. In the 3 months, we are going to study all of the accounting, about the accounting skills. Another one assignment, state the effects of the following transaction on the assets, liability, and the owner's equity. An example is shown in the transaction A. Here is the transaction. For example, the company paid debts to suppliers. That means the assets is decreased because we paid the money to the suppliers. We have taken some cash that our assets has decreased. Yes, in the assets money becomes less, and our liabilities has decreased too because we already give it back the money to our suppliers. So and you should do the B and the C transaction and show me effects. How it will be changed in the assets and in the liabilities. Okay, if you can do right now, you do it right now. And I have my answers, we can compare it. Okay, if you would like to do it at home, you can do it at home. This is actually the quick review question in your homework assignment. So I wanna just get your answers to my email. Just send it me. If you would like to send it right now, you can do it right now. After class, also fine. So this is your homework assignment. Let's move. So that's all. Any question about the accounting equation? If no, we are moving with another chapter. Okay, so, okay. As I can see, most of you say it's enough for the for today. But actually, in the planning, I had to finish our first chapter on the finance. Okay, So, if you would like, most of you, if you would like to finish our class right now, we won't continue anymore. So I give you as a homework to read another chapter, which is Accounting Concept and Conventions. This chapter, all are theory questions, theory about the theory and the accounting skills. You have to review this presentation, the meanings of the accounting concepts. We have 8 kind of accounting concepts. Here is given you separate entity, going concern, and so on. So do review at your home. And next one, the chapter 1, which is under finance. We have here is some we have to finish our chapter. We have some planning and control and another kind of topics. So you should also review at your home, because on the next class I'm going to read very fast. I'm going to explain very fast, and for you it's the best way if you review it before we start the new class. Okay. The main thing that I already explained you about the accounting question, which is the practical is more difficult, but the theory you can read yourself. I think the language is very easy at the slide, so you can do understand. Okay, I just want to tell you about that. Our class is actually each session is around 1 hour and a half, right? But mostly when I have studied previous students, we had classes around 2 hours. So they asked me to extend the classes. They asked me to explain more, because they know that the information is tough, difficult to understand yourself. So, but now it depends on you. Would you like to continue? I would continue. If no, you read yourself at home, and on the next session, I will go very fast, quick by those all chapters, and we will have to finish it. You don't tell me that is a lot of information and so on. At the MBA study, it's like this. Actually, I try to shorten the information, I'm giving you the most important things. But when I have a study at my MBA course, I had more than information, a lot of doing at home, the assignments, the reading and reviewing ebooks and so on. And it's okay for MBA course, for MBA students, because you all are adults, not like bachelors, right? So you have your own responsibility for the study. And of course, I will explain. I will try to do my best for your study. If any question, just can email me. Just want to send you my email. Just a moment. You should have got it with my previous one email, which is where I sent the slides. Who didn't receive my slide, just let me know. I have got the students list emails from the VVS administration, and they said that they have given me all the emails. It should be the right one. So, just a moment. Everyone, here is my email, alia_laic mail.ru. Send me your homework assignment. And next one, if you have any additional questions regarding these topics. And when I give you a lot, I will actually in the future say give you a lot of kind more difficult practical exercise. But you must think you don't comply that is too difficult and a lot of information. You should say thanks, but because this is I'm trying to expand your knowledge, and you should try also to get as much as you can on each sessions, because with those information that will help you in your future's life, in your career perspective. You would like to get a new promotion or new job or make your own business and so on. Because the finance, all this, all important when you do your own business, for example, or you want to give some consulting services for another businesses. Okay, thanks a lot for your attention. If no any questions, so I think it's okay. I think it's little. Today is introduction, but I always try to give as much as I can. But today is introduction. We can finish our class right now by the end of those topics, and then in the next class we will continue, right? But you should remember that if our finance class should be during the 10 sessions, maybe we should get more than another 2 or 3 sessions to finish all the courses on the finance. Okay, be considerate about this. Thank you a lot. So goodbye. Wish you have a good weekend.